Now it's in my eyes. So down the aisle looks crazy. The train is doing this. Look down the aisle, come this way. Whenever it turns like that. Make it up. It's weird looking. So the one in Cloudland, there's 2 trains and 2 tracks. One goes up, the other one comes down. They're attached with a cable. Y'all didn't do the incline? It's 2 trains and one goes up and one comes down, and they're attached by a big cable. No, they don't do that. They do this. It's gonna be a lot. It's a lot less of this. That incline thing was crazy. The seats are, when you get on the seats, they're when the train's like this, your seats are straight. Right now, you can't see any of that card. It's the whole thing was around the corner before we could see it. Like that. Huh? That's neat looking.
At this time, I'd like to welcome everybody aboard the Bomber Man to Pikes Railway. Today's journey is going to be taking us 7,600 feet from where we are right now to the top of 14,150. Oh no, excuse me. Today's journey is going to be taking us 8.9 miles to the summit of 14,115 feet of Pikes Peak, otherwise known as America's Mountain. We'll be going 7,600 feet from where we are right now, about 1.5 miles as the crow flies. We are the world's highest and longest cog railway. We are the world's highest and longest cog railway. There are only 2 other cog railways in the United States. One is in the Quincy Mine in Michigan, and the other one is on Mount Washington in New Hampshire. A little bit I'd like to introduce today's crew. My name is Sue, and I'll be giving you a narrative of things I think you'll find interesting along the way. And also, of course, up front here, we have Seth is our engineer. He's going to be getting us safely up and down the mountain today. So let's everybody give Seth a big round of applause. Thank you, Seth. A little bit about us. We've been around since June 30th, 1891. Over 133 years now. And there's only been one time we've never made it at least partway up the mountain, and that was between 2017 and 2021 when we thought we needed a little bit of a makeover. So a man by the name of Mr. Philip Anshu stepped in with some generous funding to the tune of $100 million. Wow. And we took that money and built ourselves a brand new shiny set of railroad tracks all the way up to Pikes Peak. We also bought 3 new state-of-the-art trains, one of which you're riding on right now. We also refurbished 4 of our older trains, bringing our fleet of trains to a total of 7. We also remodeled our depot and bought ourselves a new snowplow. So if you have an extra $100 million lying around, buy yourself railroad too. Of course, it's easier said than done, but to Mr. Anshoot, that's just possible.
Stand up.
Just like a diamond you're going to see in a playing card. Now we're pretty clever how we name things around here, so we named this Diamond Rock. Now Diamond Rock, just like all the other rock on Pikes Peak, is so unique to the area that we call it Pikes Peak granite. Now Pikes Peak granite is rather fragile and it's made up of mica, feldspar, and quartz. Not really the type you want to lose on your kitchen counter. Now once again, Diamond Rock will be off the 2-seat side here, just at about eye level. I point out Diamond Rock on the way back just in case y'all don't get to view it at this time. Also off the 2-seat side, we're going to pop past this strange rock formation, and you'll notice how it's all broken apart. This happens through a process called ice wedging. Now ice wedging happens when water seeps into the crevices in the rock, freezes up and expands and breaks the rock apart. This is a form of erosion and also how we get the smaller rocks. Once again, the process is called ice wedging, and it takes hundreds of years to happen. Bright yellow leaves are our famous aspen trees. off the 2-seat side, down past eye level, will be the first of our waterfalls coming up. These waterfalls were named after two sisters that grew up in the Manitou Springs area by the name of Rose and Emma. So we call these Rose Emma Falls. These will be down off the 2-seat side, a little bit past eye level. So folks on the 3-seat side, you will need to stand up to see these. Once again, these will be Rose Emma Falls off the 2-seat side, a little bit down past eye level. So folks on the 3-seat side, you're going to want to stand up if you would like to see these. They might have released some water from the Anyway, off the 3-seat side, you're getting your waterfalls now too. These waterfalls are higher than Niagara Falls, but don't look up, look straight across.
Straight across.
Now, folks on the 2-seat side, you might want to stand up to view these. Remember, don't look up, look straight across.
Did you see it? I didn't see it.
I didn't say they were bigger than Niagara Falls. I said they were higher than Niagara Falls. Moving at 8,300 feet, they're 8,000 feet higher than Niagara Falls. And we also call them a mini ha-ha fall. Mini ha-ha means dancing water in Native American.
Just for a second. I saw the second one.
8,332 feet in elevation.
Did you see the one on that side? Okay.
Off the 3-seat side, we're going to be passing one of our older trains. This train is about 50 years old and it has also been refurbished. This train goes up first thing in the morning to take our section crew up. Our section crew are the ones that maintain the railroad tracks and the surrounding areas. They make sure and go up in the morning to make sure the track is safe from debris so we can take up passengers.
There was nobody in it.
Right now might be a good idea to introduce yourselves to the people sitting across from you that are down train. You can kind of go from the steepest parts of our track here. People have been known to slide out of their seats and into the laps of those in front of them. It might be awkward
There is
if you
no
don't
chance
know
you're
them.
falling out that window.
I'm just saying. You might want to get their phone number and keep in touch with them after, after being in their lap. We're getting ready to go up a 25% grade here. A 25% grade means that for every 100 feet that we move forward, we're gaining 25 feet in elevation. And we also call this hill right here son of a gun hill. Back when we used to use the steam locomotives to push the train up the hill, the firemen had to shovel the coal so fast it generated enough steam for the train. By the time he was through, he was exhausted, and he would look over at the engineer and go, "Wow, was that hill a son of a gun?" Or something similar.
Oh, here's the grade. You can feel it.
People often ask me what happens when rocks roll down onto the tracks. Sometimes the engineer and the conductor have to get off the train and push the rock back up off the tracks. Well, off the 2-seat side, at eye level, you're going to see some of our handiwork with what we call prop rock. We had to actually prop the bigger rock up with several smaller ones to make it stay. So off the 2-seat side at eye level, you're going to see what we call prop rock. So off the 2-seat side at eye level, you'll see what we call prop rock. Yeah, we didn't do that. We bought the place with that.
I didn't look at it. I didn't have a face.
Yeah, that's an old fur trapper cabin that that you saw there. Coming up off the three-seat side, a little bit down past eye level, we're going to be passing a clearing that used to be the site of a modest one-room log cabin that was built back in 1882. It used to be a popular stop for hikers, so the owner set up a lunch stand and went into business. But when the Cog Railway was built, business started booming and it blossomed into a 22-room hotel, complete with a banquet hall, post office, railroad, and even a one-lane bowling alley. All of this could be had for a measly $10 a week, and the name of the grand establishment was called the Halfway House Hotel. A fire broke out and it was razed and removed in 1926, and all that remains of it now is a clearing and a sign saying Halfway House, and one picture that you can find on the internet of it back in its glory days. Once again, this will be off the three-seat side, a little bit down past eye level. Once again, it's only a clearing and a sign saying Halfway House. Coming up off the three-seat side, we'll be passing the oldest operating highway lane again. This side of the Mississippi River. This is how power comes down into Country Springs. You'll notice the caretaker's house here that was built from remnants of the old Halfway House Hotel. You'll see the hydroelectric plant itself in the background. It is now operated automatically across Martico and Manitou Springs. The caretaker doesn't actually live in this house anymore. They built him a new one farther up in Pikes Peak. Well, he's here right now, though. He works for the utility company. I don't know how he works for the Colorado Springs Utilities Company, whose job basically consists of driving around all the reservoirs up here and taking measurements for them. I do not know how much money he makes. A lot of people ask that question. Rather personal. Off the three-seat side here down below, you'll notice the dirt road. This is the caretaker of the hydroelectric plant's private driveway. Now this driveway is 60 miles long. 60 miles long. It has no public access. It comes out by Colorado, Highway 67 and Highway 24. If you get stuck and you need to get into town, the Cog Railway runs all year long. We're only closed on Christmas and Thanksgiving, okay? So remember that. On the way down when I go to answer your questions, okay? I'll be pointing out this 60-mile long driveway on the way up Pikes Peak, because it winds around a lot of the reservoirs that he takes measurements up. And all the reservoirs that we're going to be passing are also, there is no public access to any of them, as there is neither with the caretaker's driveway as well. Do I have anyone on the train from Delaware? I don't even need to turn back here and look because I know I don't. I don't know why I asked. Anyhow, we're in Pike National Forest. Pike National Forest is 1.4 million acres big and is the size of the state of Delaware. Anyhow, Pike National, yes, so that's pretty big actually. Some of the wildlife in Pike National Forest. We have black bears, moose, elk, bighorn sheep, deer, of course, bobcats, mountain lions. We usually don't see those. I've worked here for almost 3 years now. Never seen them either. We have, I said that, moose. Also, we don't have snakes up here. Anyhow, the ground's too hard and they don't like all the trees. We have Arctic ravens, we have eagles, we have bald eagles. We have raccoons, skunks, squirrels, chipmunks. We have these cute little things called marmots. Anybody know what a marmot is? A few of you might. For those of you who don't, a marmot is a cross between a beaver, a gopher, and a prairie dog, only they're much, much cuter. But they're stupid. Very stupid. They're not afraid of the train and they should be.
Stupid.
You'll see some running around with half a tail.
I've seen those before. I've seen the
train,
dead
but their tails grow back long. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Anyway,
It just makes you feel good.
off the two-seat side here, we have Deer Park. You notice the tall ponderosa pine trees in the back of Deer Park here. The ponderosa pine trees don't earn that cinnamon-colored bark until they're over 80 years old. And then off the two-seat side and the three-seat side, you see the tall aspen trees here with the whiter colored bark. Some of them are losing their yellow leaves, so people love to drive through the mountains and see the change of color with these aspen trees and the bright yellow leaves. They call it leaf peeping. Sounds like you're spying on trees. Anyhow, aspen trees grow in groves. When they grow in groves, they're all sharing the same root system. They grow best at over 8,000 feet. But anyhow, when they share the same root system here, it basically makes them all one tree, making one of the largest living organisms on the face of the earth. Now here's something funny about aspen trees. Aspen trees give off a white powdery substance from their bark. And so if you're ever out hiking and you forget your sunscreen, you can put this white powdery substance on your face and on your shoulders, and it gives you an SPF of 2. And it also makes you look like an idiot. So it's the lesser of 2 evils. Your choice.
2.
I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why all these trees are cut down here. The Forest Service is doing fire mitigation and is turning all these trees into mulch. So they're not just going to let them all sit here, okay? Because we haven't had any moisture here in months, really. So that's why they're cutting back all these trees and turning it into mulch, so they're not just leaving them all in big logs, so they won't catch fire. And that's why you see some of the pink and blue ribbons on the trees as well. Actually, those are being used for boundaries. And we also just passed 9,655 feet in elevation. Children will start crying at this point right here because their ears start clogging up. Anyhow, we have anyone on the train from Wisconsin. Where you guys from? I probably won't even know what it is. I never. My sister-in-law's from Milwaukee. When they got married there, we had some. Anyhow, back in the late 1880s, a man by the name of Zalman Simmons came from Wisconsin, from Kenosha, Wisconsin. He took a 3-day burro ride up Pikes Peak to inspect his telegraph line insulators. He thought there had to be a better way to get up Pikes Peak than on the back of a burro for 3 days. And he also thought there had to be a better way to get up Pikes Peak so everyone could see the gorgeous scenery. So he went back to Kenosha, got some investors together, came back with $1.5 million. That's a lot of money for back then. They started construction on the Cog Railway. The first passengers went up on June 30th, 1891. Anyone want to guess what the price of a ticket was back then? And it wasn't in cents. Anyone?
$1.
$2. It was more than that, actually. $5. $5 is right.
Wow.
I had a lady on the train a couple weeks ago. She's right off the bat. She goes, $5. Like, oh, you've been on the train before, and you know this. She goes, no, I was there. That was really funny. So anyhow, that price stayed that it was some people's entire paycheck for a week back then. I mean, for a week back then, it's the equivalent to $165 today. Which is, you guys are getting a bargain on a ticket because I know a ticket's not $165. Anyhow, it stayed that way for the next 50 years. And in 1926, Alan Simmons sold the Cobb Railway to Spencer Penrose, who was the owner of the Broadmoor Hotel and Resort back then. By any chance, is anyone on the train staying at the Broadmoor Hotel here in town? You guys are? You know, these ladies can tell you, this is one of the most luxurious hotels you've ever seen in your life. It is known all over the world. It is rated 5 stars by Forbes magazine, 5 diamonds by AAA.
Oh, wow.
Let me tell you about this hotel here. It's about 10 minutes away from the depot. If you guys want to go kill a day, you can go tour the hotel. The hotel surrounds a lake. There's a bridge over the lake, so you can walk back and forth, or you can just walk around the lake. There's 2 golf courses on the site. One is a PGA golf course, the other one you can go play on. They're getting ready to have the Senior Open there yet next year. They have it there every several years. The girls from the Broadmoor brought the Senior Cup on the train up with them a couple weeks ago, and they could pass it around. Of course, you had to wear gloves to touch it. They let people pass it around. They took it around at the summit so you could have your picture taken with it. There's 2 indoor pools on site there. They have a spa there that has an outdoor pool that can give you laps in all year round. They just put heat lamps all around it. There's about 20 lounges and restaurants you can choose from on site there. In the wintertime, they just put bubbles over the tennis courts and the pickleball courts there. You can rent cottages or townhomes there. There is a bowling alley inside of it. There is a movie theater inside of it. They own riding stables, etc. They have a sporting goods store there. They have shops there, of course. They have a sporting goods outfitter shop there. It's called Broadmoor Outfitters. They will haul bicycles up to the summit of Pikes Peak for you so you can coast down the Pikes Peak Highway. This place is magnificent. Anyhow, ever since 1926 when Spencer Penrose bought the Broadmoor Hotel, the Cobb Railway and the Broadmoor Hotel and Resort have shared common ownership. So what that means, if you buy the Broadmoor Hotel, the Cobb Railway comes with it. So anyway, getting back to Zalman Simmons, you'll recognize the last name Simmons by this. You have a Simmons Beauty Rest mattress in your house. He is the creator of the Simmons Beauty Rest mattress. He was the first one to put springs inside of a mattress. So just a little bit of trivia for you there, folks. All right, moving along. Do we have any military on the train with us today? Retired veterans, put your hands up for me. I want everyone to give these folks a big, big round of applause in appreciation for your service. Back in 1806, an Army lieutenant by the name of Zebulon Montgomery Pike came to Colorado, and on a journey of discovery, Montgomery out of Lewis's heart, thinking his men were exploring the southern boundaries of the Louisiana Purchase. When they saw Pikes Peak way off in the distance, they headed straight towards it, assuming they could see a great deal from what they thought was 18,000 feet. We're about 4,000 feet off, but they didn't matter. They never made it to the summit of the mountain like theirs was named, because other people that named it after him named Catherine Lee Bates, came to Colorado from Massachusetts and took a carriage ride up a road that sometimes parallels our own tracks. She went back to her hotel and wrote a poem about what she had seen. It was later set to a piece of music called Materna. That later turned into a song called America the Beautiful. It's also second runner-up to the National American Anthem. Anyhow, we think this is the point that inspired her to write that song. So we call this Inspiration Point right here, ladies and gentlemen. That is Colorado Springs that you see down there, also known as Olympic City, USA, because the Olympic and Paralympic Training Center is located here. You see the black forest out there a little bit to the left. We mostly meet up at Ponderosa Pine Trees. You see Cameron Peak right out in front of us here. And way out there where you see Hartley Educate, that's Kansas. Just a joke. And down there you see all the aspen trees with the yellow color out there. And for those of you that are actually from Colorado, and we're here about 12.5 years ago, you look out through the trees right there, and you see the hills over there, very little vegetation on there. That is still the burn scar from the Waldo Canyon fire. It took about maybe over 460 homes for us to play live. Still not sure what caused that fire. We're going to get higher up past tree line here, and you will get an unobstructed look at Lake Moraine. So don't feel bad if you're on the two-seat side here and can't really see it. Tree line happens when the trees quit growing for several reasons. The soil stays frozen about 6 inches underneath the dirt here all year round, so the trees cannot root anymore. The weather conditions are too harsh for the trees to grow in, and also there's not enough moisture up here for them to live with, and that happens at about 11,500 feet. The trees that do best up here around tree line or past tree line are the bristlecone pine trees, and you'll know them by they have the smoother gray bark. Also, their needles are shorter, and they're a lot closer because they're bunched a lot closer together, so it gives the branches a little bit more insulation in the harsh weather. And I'll see a great example of tree line off the 3-seat side here in just a moment in Mount Almonte. Is that grandma?
like that.
O'clock or something like that.
I think 8.
It'll be in the Atlantic tomorrow. Once it hits land, it'll. those. We need all those rocks.
All right, we call this area right here Windy Point because there are no trees to block the wind. Wind speeds can reach over 100 miles an hour up here. If they reach 55 to 60 mile an hour gusts, we won't bring the train up here because it picks up when we block the damage to the train. Off the 2-seat side here, the elevation is 12,129.
Oh, I'm sorry.
12,129 feet. There's Andy sitting there. This is the section crew here in this train. There's Kurt. This is the section crew. These are the ones that come up first thing in the morning and inspect the tracks for everything. They are also the ones that will go up first thing in the morning and clear the platform of snow up here. The lowest temperature ever recorded up on the platform, I just on the Pikes Peak. I just found out it's -8 degrees. These guys will go up here and work in that kind of weather to clear the platform for us. So we can go up there. It's pretty incredible. Before the railway was all the way built back in the 1880s, they used to live in that house here with their families and have to walk till where they were needed. Anyhow, at this time, I do need everybody's attention. This is very, 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 very important information for all of you about what's going to go on up at the summit and what time the train is leaving at because we have to keep other trains on the way down. At 12 o'clock sharp. At 12:01, we will be pulling away from the platform up there. And no matter how far you want to turn over the train is moving, we do not stop and back up to let you on the train. The doors automatically close at 12 o'clock sharp because they're computerized. Alright? So, you need to make sure and set your alarms on your watches. You need to make sure and set your watches on your watches or your cell phones for 11:50. For 11:50, so it gives you a 10-minute buffer of time. And also, I will give a 10-minute boarding call inside of the Summit House at 11:50. After I give you the 7 loudspeaker so everybody hears it. So when you leave the Summit House, please follow me out. That way you will make sure and not miss it. Okay, anyhow, at 11:50 also, if you are outside taking pictures or walking around, Seth, the engineer, is going to toot the train's horn 3 times at 11:50. That means start heading back to the train. At 11:55, he's going to toot the train's horn 1 long time. That means start running back to the train. And let me tell you something. At that elevation up here, it's impossible to run. I can't even do it, and I've been here for years. I can't even walk fast up there. So if you're from a lower elevation, start back to the train earlier if you're having a hard time with the thin air, because there's 33% less oxygen up there than there is at sea level. So if you're having a hard time breathing, please start back to the train earlier, okay? Because we don't really allot for that. We don't, just start back to the train earlier. All right, everything that you need is going to be in the big glass building up there. That means restrooms, a cafeteria, gift shop with a water filling station in it, and also a museum. Everything you need will be in that big glass building. All right? You can come back to the train early if you want. If you don't want to leave the train, you don't have to. Trust me, the round buses outside of each door. Make sure you get back in the right car. You can put your heavy stuff on the train if you want. The train will not move from where we parked it at. You're on train 29. It says it at the bottom of each door. Your car numbers will be above each door as well. Do not leave your children unattended at any time up in that Summit House. Under no circumstances, okay? There are no trash cans on the platforms up there because bears get into them. So throw your trash away before you leave. We do not allow food to be brought back on the train to eat. because motion sickness is contagious. No eating food that's on the train. The only thing you can bring back on the train to drink is water. No coffee, no soda, no hot chocolate. Water only because it spills and it rolls down the train. Water only. Like I said, the train will not move. We do not own the Summit House. We are owned by the Broadway Summit House. It's owned by the city of Colorado Springs. If you have any complaints, don't come to me. You go to the people at the Summit House. We don't own it. I think that is pretty much what you need to know. We're going to put our windows up before we leave the train. And we're going to come back to bugs in the train. Alright? So that's pretty much it. Oh, stay behind the yellow safety line at all times up there because other trains are going to be coming up there, okay? You won't be the only one. Once again, the train won't move. You're on train 29. Okay?